How did you get that scar? I was 10 years old in Girl Scouts, and I really wanted a jackknife. Mom got me one, and said, be careful. And if you're not careful and you cut yourself, don't come crying to me. So I'm outside whittling on a stick, and the knife slipped and sliced into my finger. Oh asterisk 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 asterisk. Mom's gonna kill me. I was scared to go inside the house, 'cause Mom would know what happened, so I rinsed the cut with a garden hose and wrapped my sock around the finger till it stopped bleeding. Mom's been gone 35 years and I think of her whenever I notice that scar. Did she find out? I was 11 and got mugged. The third guy sliced my face. There was so much blood they freaked and ran. You've gotta be some coward to mug an 11-year-old. I think John Mulaney put it best when he imitated one such coward by saying, man, I need cash for drugs right now. Maybe that 8-year-old with the goddamn Aladdin wallet that only has blank photo laminate pages in it will be able to help. You want it? Go get it. When I was a kid I wanted to see if I could set off a 22LR round by holding it with a wrench and hitting the rim with a hammer. Turns out I could. Friend of mine tried putting one in a vise. That worked too. I'm glad I have you guys to learn secondhand from. My middle school science teacher was doing a routine demonstration in which she heated up a jelly baby with a Bunsen burner. For whatever reason it went wrong. The jelly baby exploded and landed on my knee. Burned a hole through my skirt and tights, and the scar is still there to this day. She was a bloody lovely woman and a fab teacher and was really apologetic. She let me eat the rest of the bag of jelly babies to make up for it. The beep is a jelly baby? They're English sweets. Soft jellies covered in sugar, in the shape of babies. I never thought about how weird they were till I had to explain them, lol. They're yummy though. Oh, alright. We have something like that in the US, except they have sour powder on them. They're called Sour Patch Kids. They sound like the chaotic evil long-lost siblings of English jelly babies. Brown recluse spider bite. I was 4, and my mom didn't notice it for days. Definitely could have died, but luckily got away with just a scar. Same thing happened to me, but I was 11. Went into anaphylactic shock and I was high risk for kidney failure. Spiders are filthy sons of beep, and I have a massive scar on my upper arm now. A disgruntled Cocker Spaniel. An ambivalent greyhound. I was on my way to Arizona aboard a bus, when I gouged the base of my ring finger on the metal frame on the back of the seat in front of me. It bled a little, didn't get infected, but I doubt I'll ever lose this little reminder. I don't even know how to explain to you how disappointed I was that a dog was not actually involved in this at all. When I was 4 or 5, I tried to chop a small piece of wood. As I placed it on the block, the axe slipped from my armpit and landed on my finger. Do you still have your finger? This guy at school would give friction burns to people by running his cast against their arm. I wanted to see how long I last. Fast forward 6 years, there's still a mark there. Safe to say I got a scar from stupidity. My friends rubbed erasers on the back of their hand and have scars there now. I was not dumb enough to do that, fortunately. My older brother did that to me when I was around 6 years old. He told me he could make my skin disappear. It did. I walked headfirst into a coffee table when I was a child. Now I have a scar between my eyebrows. Strangely, the habit of hitting my head on things has hardly gone away with age. Actually, come to think of it, that might explain the habit. My son has a small scar on his cheek from face planting our coffee table. It's a family heirloom and requires blood occasionally. It bites everyone that comes around it, but prefers to bleed the young. I grew up before the "do not try this at home" disclaimer. Best one I heard so far. Hodgkin's disease. They opened me up to biopsy various things. Scar runs from my breastbone to my pubic bone. Good grief. This must be from before laparoscopy? Took a window to the shoulder. I was an adventurer like you once. Until I took a window to the shoulder. I was in 3rd grade at my cousin's house playing kickball with pants that were too big for me, and I went to catch the ball and my pants started falling and I fell on the street, leaving a gash on my knee. But I'll have you know I only cried for 20 minutes. Slipped on a non-slip mat. Slow clap. I have a few because I was a moronic child. I have a small vertical scar directly in the middle of my forehead. I was probably around 4 years old. I went to go to say goodnight to my grandmother and decided to jump on the bed. I missed and hit the window. Broke open my head and needed emergency trip to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I was holding my bloody towel against my head while jumping on the chairs. I have some discoloration in my right hand, because when I was little my mom worked at a golf course in the cafe. She was closing up and had just turned off the deep fryer. I wanted French fries, and realized the deep fryer is where they come from. Like a genius, I stuck my hand in the oil. Thank God she just turned it off, otherwise I would have lost the hand. On my left hand, I have a 1.5-inch scar. You can still see the holes from the stitches that I had. I was cleaning the excess plastic from a 3D printed project. It just got out of the acid bath, which is used to help get rid of the extra bits of plastic. I was shaving down larger bits that didn't get burned off with an X-Acto knife. If you ever had acid on your hands, know it makes them very slippery. So my project slipped and I cut through my left hand. First time I masturbated, I bit my lip so hard, I have the mark for the rest of my life. You got the award for horniest way to hurt yourself. My appendix ruptured and the doctor claimed I was faking it for drugs. Only when my mom said she would burn down the clinic, the doctor sent us to the hospital along with a police escort to arrest her. Spoiler: I was under the knife and operated on within 15 minutes of arrival, barely surviving, and they had to make an 8-inch opening to flush out every piece of contaminant 5 times before they could close me up. My mom was not arrested and the police officer told her how to file for disciplinary actions on the doctor. I like your mom, she's got moxie. My cat. One time I was holding my cat and my friend jumped out of a door and shouted to scare me, and my cat freaked and made like a Beyblade and let it rip with her sharp beak claws down my whole chest while trying to run. Stung like a beep *** lol. Made like a Beyblade and let it rip is the greatest thing I've read all day. I was really ill. In the middle of the night I went to go toilet and got up too quick and was half awake walking it. In the hallway I ended up fainting and hitting my head on the edge of a small cabinet. It made a deep cut across my left eyebrow in the shape of an arc, which left a scar. I went into a concussion, not long, and I have no memory of getting up or being in the hallway. I had to get stitches and it's permanent. Does anyone remember playing spoons? I do, from the fingernail scar on my hand. Was it extreme spoons or regular spoons? 'Cause that game can get intense. Extreme spoons. It's the same game, except the spoons are placed on the other side of a football field or something. It gets intense, and people get injured really easily. Lol. We'd play where the first person to go for them grabbed the whole pile and threw them outside the group. The best was when one dimwit grabbed and threw over their shoulder. It was a stampede. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and broke his head on the corner of the dresser, splitting my forehead from eyebrow to hairline and causing my aunt to faint. I was like 3 and hit my cheek on the table corner. I was riding my bike in the city, and a car door from one of the parallel parked cars opened up in front of me. Broke glass, bike, and needed surgery on my collarbone. Now I can tell when it's about to rain because my metal plate begins to hurt. That's kinda cool though. Children, it shall rain soon. I feel it in my bones. Rain starts, kids ooh and ah. Used to work in a small pharmacy. My coworker was going to a party and asked if I could close up myself. Me being me, I agreed. I was locking some stuff away and 4 junkies jumped me, sliced my throat, and took a bunch of drugs. Wasn't deep, but it could have been lethal. I was in shock but knew I needed to call for help, so I just went and pushed the alarm and called 112. Luckily I got the help I needed and the thieves were found. A neighbor girl hit me in the head with a high heel shoe and I laughed at her for not being able to do a cartwheel. Beep hurt so bad and was fairly bloody, but at the end of the day only one of us could do a cartwheel. And that was me. Suck on that, Darla. Get ready for a long story, folks. I have a scar about 6 inches above my left knee. How? I was in a hike, I got bitten by a bug, and the bite started to flare up. I decided to put heat and ice on it and to squeeze out any pus. For a while, it started to go down. But this isn't the end. Oh no. For some reason, the bite became irritated and grew in size. I had a red circle around the bite. It was hot and hurt to the touch, and if it was flaring, it would hurt to walk. So my mom and I go to the doctor, and takes a look at my leg and says we need to cut it open. The doctor injects the bite with a numbing shot, and then the doctor grabbed his scalpel and cut a little slit. Boom, ooze. He got a sample and gave me a bandage, pills, and told me to hold off for a while until it was done draining. Everything's good now, and turns out it was just a bad case of MRSA. Edit. I'm getting a lot of comments about how MRSA is still bad and sometimes very harmful. I am aware of that. I know I didn't clarify how scared I was, but I honestly thought I was going to die. Basically, I was relieved it was MRSA, and I got lucky and didn't suffer as much as others did. Still, the experience of getting my bite slit open was the most painful thing ever. I'm very sorry for offending anyone who have MRSA, and I hope you guys are resting easy. Just MRSA. Makes me wonder what other kinds of infections and illnesses you've had. A ferret bit me when I was 2. Yes, it's still there over a decade later. No, I am not Ferret Man or a were-ferret. You should convince it to let go. It's probably tired after a decade of holding on. When I was young, me and my friends used to wrestle for fun. Well, me and a neighbor kid were wrestling for fun. He lost. Got pissed and stabbed me in the side with a Swiss Army knife. I was 14, had no phone, and my parents were out of town. My grandpa taught me when I was 12 how to stitch a wound shut, so I had to self-stitch the wound shut. To this day, my parents don't know. Dude, this kid's the beef devil. Did he apologize or anything? Ultimate rug burn. I was running down a slight carpeted slope and gravity got the better of me. I slid a few feet with almost all of my weight on my left elbow. Hurt like a asterisk 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 asterisk. Angle grinder with a diamond wheel on it. And no gloves. Wear your PPE, people. I almost didn't see the E at the end of PP, and I was about to ask, how does that work? Do we just wear strap-ons? I used to self-harm. I am 3 months clean next week. Knowing that other people have successfully stopped for longer